Hey everyone, this is Luminous and 715 coming you guys with a dual Dota commentary. Today we're casting MUFC versus Trust. MUFC on the Sentinel, Trust on the Scourge team. 715, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing very well apart from you being a bit boring, dodging playing Dota with me, so no Dota with Luminous because he has to do homework.
Being a
Yes.
responsible Chinese student. But
Yeah,
yes, if
getting A's and
yeah,
shit.
yeah, of course, man. If we do want to play Dota together, there will be a very special occasion, September 24th, where 715, myself, and fellow other DC casters, DC admins will be playing Dota with everyone. It's called a viewers game. If you'd like to show up, you know, the skill level of games is gonna be all over the place. It's gonna be streamed, and it's gonna be a fun experience. I hope. So. More information on that on the Dota commentaries front page. But aside from that, this is MUFC versus Trust, and just catch up with me 715 because this is this is the second. I'm
I see.
paused. I'm paused at 108, so please catch up. 108. So here's how we usually do things. I unpause the replay, or I tell 715 to unpause in 10 seconds in. But this is apparently the second time I forgot. But
Yeah,
no problem. Standard.
yeah. I'm used to that, so no
Okay.
problem.
108, are you there?
Yeah, go.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. So Shadow Demon being banned now Invoker. Meanwhile, Scourge banning the Bat Rider and Windrunner. Nothing too special to talk about. What do you think about the new MYM team?
About the new MYM team, I really liked their performance at Gamescom. I didn't watch any replays so far yet. Are they even any replays
I
out?
don't think there's any replay out yet. So
Yeah, so okay, so I didn't miss anything. That would have surprised me. I mean, like, I don't know, spending the whole day
on Ghost
checking
Gamer.
Ghost to Gamers, yes, waiting for new replays. But no, I really liked the performance at Gamescom. It was like surprising, of course, that they did so well. The team chemistry seemed to be really good. So I'm actually just not too sure, like, if it was such a good move to take in that team as the new MYM by the organization, because I feel like they are maybe not the most stable team. I think it was pretty much like at first they got together because of Gamescom, or they got invited, and that was the reason for them to play Dota actually, because in the interviews you could read that they're playing League of Legends a lot. So I feel like actually their interest was not that big, but maybe now, since they're sponsored by MYM, which is a really big thing for a player, I think that it's getting better and they're training hard, I hope. So
Well, I
they
mean,
so
maybe part of the reason they moved to League of Legends or Han was because there's more money there. And I'm pretty sure MYM is paying their players, so I think that
yes.
would
And
be.
I think also the Singaporean Dota scene is kind of dead,
Yep.
or has been dead at least. So
Yeah, and the teams today is MUFC is from Malaysia, and then Trust is from Thailand. So, aside, I think Orange is also Singaporean. I'm not sure. I think Mushi's on that team. Mushi's Singaporean, right?
what? No,
No,
Mushi's Malaysian.
Malaysian.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I offended. Um, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
they are not Pinoys.
No.
They're not
Oh,
that
I
angry
would know
about
if they're
that.
Pinoys, but to me, I'm not really well recognized, or I don't really understand the map of Oceania or Southern East Asia that well. My bad.
But like, don't you have the flags in mind? The flags for Ghost Gamers?
I do,
Isn't
but you
that
know how I
yes?
grew up in China? What they taught me is in Asia there's China. That's it. I'm serious. I'm not even joking. So I don't know, like, all the other countries, but okay, that's enough of that. Let's go back in the game. All right, Trust
Okay,
picks up
so
Lich.
Lumino geography teacher.
No
Never.
geography. No.
Okay, we see a Doom being banned, which is a bit surprising these days, but still a kind of nasty hero to get rid of. Lich, a first pick, not a too big surprise. Pretty good all-around hero. Can be a nice full support, decent for double mid or for a dual lane on bottom. Always good for that. We see Venge being picked up. Not well, maybe a bit surprising. What do you think about it?
Venge. It depends what they're going into. If let's say they want to pick up a clock right now as well, that wouldn't be too bad because Venge is one of the. I mean, Venge is such a good counter to things like clock, Enigma, it makes your opponent have difficulties in terms of picking into some of the heroes. Also, it sets you up with really nice minus armor strategy if you want to go something like that. It looks like they're going to pick up a Beastmaster, so I think MUFC is looking for a little bit more gank heavy, which so far these two heroes are very good. And so far these heroes are also very good for Roshan fights because Terror and the Hawk gives them basically unlimited scouting. So I really like,
Yes.
yeah, pretty good so
I,
far.
I would also like to mention the auras of those two
Yes,
heroes,
really
which go
nice.
very, very, very well in late game. Like it enables even your kind of weaker heroes, for example, maybe a Puck or so, to do quite a lot uh, damage just by right-clicking some heroes because of the increased attack speed and the increased damage. So that's really nice to have, and of course it can make a carry that is maybe weaker than the other carry in late game. Actually, just by the paper, it can make him like way better because it's a really huge damage increase.
Yep, yep. And as we say that, we don't see Ancient Aberration still picked up yet. And 715, I'm gonna tell everyone why I think some like Ancient Aberrations somewhat ignored, and then maybe we'll have you, let's say, agree or disagree or tell your own view. Let's see, Ancient Aberration still not picked up. The reason I think, and this happens a lot, especially in the Chinese scene, AA sometimes gets ignored, sometimes even just not picked or banned the whole game, and I think that he's really dependent on another hero to be effective. Yes, AI Blast is great, but if you don't have, let's say, a Dream Core setting you up, you don't have a Black Hole setting you up, that ultimate, even though it's great, it's not too game changing. It's a good ganking tool, good counter pushing tool, but there might be better heroes for those kind of jobs. So I think because of that, Ancient Aberration is not picked up as often as we see. Do you agree with that somewhat, or not really?
Actually, I agree with that because, well, the fact that Ancient Operation is not picked up all the time is not deniable. So there has to be a reason for it, and I actually think that that's a good valid point. That like the Ice Blast, for example. Also, I think like in some games you will be able to do. Then you will have like in the early game, you will have like, or more in the mid game when the Ice Blast is up, you will have like a few heroes where they'll gank a lot, they'll even solo gank maybe, and then you can support those heroes with the Ice Blast. Like Clock, for example, I think goes very well with Ice Blast, and well, there are also other lineups where you will have a different playstyle, and there you won't need like the gank presence of the Ice Blast, and well, also like the fact that AA is sometimes, if you don't have pick up enough like spells to go with a cold feet, like spells that work really easy like Frostbite and Frost Nova are the best examples, I think. Like that makes Ice Blast and Cold Feet always successful, like every time you use it. But for example, now on the Sentinel we have only the Venge Stun, which is usually not enough to make the Cold Feet set in. And well, the Beastmaster ult has a long cooldown, so you will also have to keep that Cold Feet efficiency in mind.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't pick up the Ancient Aberration as their third pick. Maybe they wanted a little bit more jungling ability through the Enchantress. Enchantress also gives the team ability to access some of the jungle auras as well. So going back to that aura strat that you were mentioning earlier, that is a possibility. But I think that was a very smart kind of pickup for Scourge team. They recognize that MUFC is going to go a little bit gank heavy with the Venge and the Beastmaster pick, so they pick a little bit survival based heroes such as the Blink on the Anti-Mage, Lose Your Orb, and Phase on the Puck. So I think against most early ganks they should be fine having Blink and Lose Your Orb. I think so far also with that the Frost armor, they should be pretty good into the mid game as well. And this Anti-Mage, as we talked about, it's a pretty decent hero, but only if he counters your carry or a good majority of your support. And so far, that doesn't seem to be the case on the Sentinel end. Venge is not, her mana pool is not that high. She has pretty good base armor. Same thing with the Beastmaster, high HP, low mana pool, so the mana void. Even if you could burn away his mana after the mana pool is empty, you won't be doing that much damage anymore. I think Enchantress is the only hero that in the pool that you could really put a dent into. But she
yeah, she got untouchable
and heal. So I'm not too sure whether Anti-Mage is the best offensive hero against this lineup, but defensively it's not too bad.
Right, and I don't know. We see Quap being banned. I don't see a particular reason for that right now. I'm not exactly sure why you would be afraid of the Quap with the heroes you have. Maybe because they don't have a single stun yet, but actually, I would guess that those teams know each other a bit from scrimming,
Probably, yeah.
and that's why they banned the Quap because MUFC picked it in some games before. Like that would be my guess, since Quap not such a famous hero in the meta game nowadays.
Unless you're,
Check out Luminous Heroes tier list if you want
yeah,
to know which hero is
seriously.
good.
Unless you're playing in Philippines, then co-op gets banned all the time.
Yeah.
But that's another story. Lycan being banned, which is I believe a really good ban on their case, on Scourge's case, because so far they don't have any really strong stuns that they could rely on. And if Lycan runs rampant against your team and you don't have any stuns to shut him down, then that's going to be huge trouble. Meanwhile, MUFC is actually banning their Shaker already because they have 2 supports, so they don't need another one. I'm not too sure if MUFC is going to be building some type of 3 solos and then a double jungle. We do see that being a little bit more popular nowadays. But seeing that they're actually banning Brood themselves, that's a little bit surprising because I think they could pick up Brood for a very strong solo presence. But what do you think about that, as well as the Furion picked up?
I actually think that the Brood, yeah, would have been a good pick for sure, but I feel like she would not have been that efficient here because she would have really hard problems against like the 3 heroes that would have been there in the Scourge, because like the Lich got frost armor and is naturally fast, but he's still kind of an easy target. But anti-mage and Puck is just so,
Nah,
it's
hard
just
to kill.
stupid
Yeah.
to play Brood against it because
Yeah.
you can't kill them. They'll just get away every time, and that makes the hero a lot weaker. So yeah.
Yeah, and so far, also the Furion pickup and now the Sanking. I'm not too sure whether I like the Furion pick as well because we have a couple of spells that are naturally really good against that Sprout. Of course, you could always tangle out of it, especially in the early stage of the game where everyone still has their tangles. But we're going to have a swap. If we need to rescue a hero, we could have the Axis to cut out. And I don't think Enchantress cares really about being sprouted. She has her creeps around her. She has that heal. So it really makes me question because Scourge still needs some stuns to work with. They are going to pick up a Sand King, which gives them some really strong AoE presence. We could see a very strong counter pick if they pick up a Pugna here. Would be really good against most of the lineup, especially the anti-mage as well. You could decrep him or decrep one of your heroes if they're being focused. Lion is also a very good counter pick against Puck and anti-mage who are HP pool is somewhat low. You could abuse that Hex against it. So to me, I like MUFC's pick a little bit better. It's both more offensive and more defensive, but I'm really worried about the late game, and they're gonna get their late game through a destroyer. So how do you feel about the picks?
I actually really like for the when I we had the first 4 picks of the Sentinel and I saw the Scourge lineup, I was like, okay, I actually like the Scourge lineup more. But right now with the Obsidian coming out for MUFC, really have to say that that is an awesome game plan they got there, because basically they are stacking early game power and disables in terms of, well, early game power is most, and lane control is mostly the Enchantress and the Venge. They'll be able to gank a lot to make the pushes happen to secure some early towers, while the Lion and the Beastmaster, they'll like rule the mid game with their ultimates and their global pres. They have like the Hawk, the Lion with the dagger. I expect him to pick up a dagger quickly. They'll be able to gank a lot to maintain the control, and they'll just like create a lot of room for the Obsidian to farm. And in the late game, we have the auras, as we mentioned. So none of those 4 heroes will be really weak. The Enchantress might even get very strong with an Aghanim's or so, but they in the late game they just have all that disabled to work with. So in the late game they'll just hex, they'll stun again, they'll slow, and the Obsidian will just do his job. And they have the perfect spells to protect him and to make him kill. So I think that's a really nice lineup.
Yeah, I agree. So let's make sure we're synced up right now because I did do a short pause. I'm at 14, 18, 19,
Yes.
20. Okay.
Perfect.
Also want to point out about the laning is that we're going to see a very common lane nowadays, that Lich anti-mage dual lane mid, very, very strong, because they could just Nova you once, anti-mage blinks up, and you're gonna kiss at least 100 mana goodbye. Destroy, traditionally a very, very strong solo mid lane hero, generally very good against other solo mids, because you could constantly take away their intelligence. Let's see if this is gonna be the case. I mean, we're gonna see anti-mage already doing a little bit of harassment. If any hero could maybe handle this dual lane, Destroy might not have. I mean, he may be the hero to do it, but it's going to be extremely hard. He's going to fall behind in terms of EXP. That mana break is still going to hurt him quite a bit, especially in this early stage of the game where he doesn't have too high level of that Essence Aura yet. So we'll see if that's going to be the case.
Yes, well, what is really a problem is with being Obsidian, you won't get out of mana. That is good on the one hand because actually you're in tier with a very big mana pool, so anti-mage ult may hurt you very hard. But on the other hand, when he gets like illusions, you'll have mana that he burns all the time, and that will be so much damage. But in general, I like Obsidian as a carry against the anti-mage because the orb damage is not reduced by spell shield, so you hit him really hard. You even get a hex sometime as your natural item, so it's well, it's a pretty good counter in general, and well, yeah, you're not too vulnerable to that ult.
Yeah, meanwhile, the laning is a little bit strange this game. We have a Firan that's not in the jungle. I think the reason that he's not in the jungle is because he's really afraid that double jungle coming from Sentinel that could really hurt up his jungling pattern. Sand King and Firan dueling bot against a Beastmaster. And also, I think the Venge is now sticking around the mid lane because he knows that Destroyer might have a little bit of trouble, especially against his dueling. I think he actually picked up one Essence Aura, and I think I saw Orb. I'm not too sure if that's actually the case. Also, I think Sentinel definitely wanted to do a double jungle. You see that the Lion in the top lane had a boots of speed, so he definitely was thinking he will be basically be either very defensive with that boost of speed on the long lane, or he's going to be a little bit more offensive with that Enchantress and the Venge ganking out of jungle. Enchantress also had a Smoke of the Sea, so they could definitely make it happen. There's a Furbolg running around in the jungle, so I think it's going to be difficult to gank both the top and the mid lane because of the blinking spells, like we said earlier. But there's a Hex and Impale on the top lane, so they can really make it happen if they really want to do so. In terms of laning, do you feel any team have the natural advantage here, or is somewhat even on both sides here?
I actually think the laning is kind of even, but it depends a lot on the Enchantress ganks. If they go successful now, that will secure the advantage to MUFC. If they are not too successful, then I actually think Scourge is off a bit better.
Yeah, it looks like they might be making a go on Lich right now, and that creeps are coming. Magic Missile. Oh, there's a what's that called? Disruption. No, there's a Magic Missile, and yeah, that Lich is going down. Astral Imprisonment is the spell of that name. Oh. Yeah, they could pick up a first blood.
By the way, I have to say I don't like the play here because Enchantress actually did what Luminous is always doing in in-houses. He's jacking the carry skills. Like, this was an example of a really safe kill. Like, he could have given that easy to the Obsidian, but Enchantress has chosen to last it with the creep, which is okay since she will get the early boots. But I feel like since the Obsidian has the hard lane in the mid, he should have gotten that kill.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Getting the early boots makes your next gank so much easier. As we see me on the top lane here, the puck in trouble. I think he has used Orb. That's why he's such an awkward position. The Tornado is going to be coming in. Where is the Hex? I think the line is a little bit out of mana. He's got 200 mana. There's a Hex, and the physical right hit might just bring him down. There's a Silence and an Orb out. Venge waiting in position, though, and he is going to claim the kill. And no more bitching about Carry not getting killed because Carry wasn't in position. So well done by the Venge, picking it up, and he's going to pick up an early boots, and so is the Enchantress. And so far this oh, actually gone for the very early energy booster.
Yes, so did Puck actually. He went to the secret shop, bought the energy booster. So if it would have been like Luminous Puck, he would have just said no problem. I bought my item.
Yeah, MP, dude. Still, pro stuff.
It's legit.
Legit. Meanwhile, back in the mid lane here, Destroy level 4, and that's going to be very important, especially for Destroy to pick up those early level. Anti-Mage might be in trouble. Gonna take a Magic Fizzle to the face, and Destroy.
So nicely done.
Yes.
So nice.
High base damage is going to pick him off. The reason I believe Destroyer is so important in terms of picking that early level is your spells are so important. Essence Aura, he's only a level 2, so I'm guessing that's a level 3 Disruption. And he could start to spam it a little bit, especially against the anti-mage, or he might be save it as a defensive measure when the anti-mage blinks in. In either case, that's a very good spell to have. Gives you a little bit of lane dominance, and I think Destroy right now after those 2 gank is very, very fine. And like what you said earlier, if the ganking goes well for the Sentinel, I'm pretty sure they will have a better mid game and late game as well.
Yes, and we see a Beastmaster on the bottom lane actually getting all those levels. So, well, he's not getting that much of farm, but what I don't like the fact that Sand King is not taking too many creeps. Like, he should be getting some at least, because he needs like boots or so. Well, yeah, especially boots actually to be efficient in early game, so he could gang and, well, maybe he could work a bit towards his blink dagger or extend his core with a magic stick or so. And, well, I don't know if I'm going to Furion, not too sure about that.
Yeah, meanwhile on the top lane here, a Hex, Magic Missile, Finger of Death being picked up by the line. And that's easy when you have that Hex Impale combo going on. Meanwhile, on the mid lane not being pretty well controlled as well. Again, I agree with you. I don't like how the Scourge team is distributing the EXP. I think if, let's say if this... Oh, looks like there's going to be gank.
There's a Sand King coming in without boots. Gets done without boots.
Without boots and a level 2 Barrel Strike. Some OP blocking from the anti-mage, but still... No boots, level 2 Barrel Strike, not going to catch up, so quite unfortunate. And exactly, I agree with you there. I think they would have been fine leaving the Beastmaster on bot lane and have that free on maybe a little bit offensive jungling in the enemy jungle. And I think that will give more XP to both the heroes and make them a lot more effective. And the Furion just in lane right now, so you will always know if he's missing. You know, for at least 5 seconds, you call it, hey, he's missing. But if he's coming out from the jungle, you really never know. So in that case, I don't like the lane distribution, and you can see that.
Ooh, top.
Top, more gank going on. Hex coming off, Puck dying once again. So this looks pretty much like early game rape coming from MUFC. 5-0. The lanes are all being controlled by the good gankings of the Venge and the Enchantress. And this line getting quite farm as well. Got the boots. It looks like he's going to go for early treads. And you don't expect this... Oh, meanwhile, they finally get a kill on the mid lane, so apology for missing that one. You don't expect a line on the top lane to get this amount of farm, but he's getting it right now, and that's not going to be good for Trust.
Yeah, but actually, there's one thing I don't like too much. I feel like they should have been pushing somewhere. Probably top, of course. The tower is half HP, but later on it will be such a pain in the ass to get towers against the Furion, so they should really try to get some early pushes going, which will be a lot harder now since Sand King moved top, and for now they choose not to support the Beastmaster on the bottom lane. Yeah,
I think Beastmaster is definitely fine though. Yeah, he has picked up a stout shield, so Furion's not gonna hit ass so much hard. He's got actually a soul ring to maybe even push against the Furion a little bit. So I think Beastmaster, seeing that he's high HP, got a high amount of regen, he's gonna be okay in that lane. Meanwhile, on the top here, we have Furion. I mean, Venge and Enchantress still there. It's interesting to see that Furion has so far not do any TP. Meanwhile, Chain Frog doing drop on the mid lane. Lich picks up a kill there. Very well done. Picking off Nick once again, which is going to be very good. Again, if you could really slow down Destroyer's farm, that is really important. Because Destroyer is one of those heroes that, if you have a really bad early to mid game, he's really a useless hero.
You're watching?
Yes, I'm watching mid lane. I'm watching. There's an enchant, but I don't think they get a kill against Lich. No, Impede is being picked up, and that is the benefit of having a double jungle or having a really successful gank, as we see Arcane Boots also being picked up. The no boots versus the boots on the Venge. Venge actually doing a little bit of kiting. There's a TP in, but actually the anti-mage is going to go fair on TP in, maybe a little bit of wrong position. Very high amount of mana left on the Enchantress. Enchant is a very low mana pool. He's going to cast it right now. There's an Impale there as well, and that Furion's going to go down. Here comes Sand King. Maybe he could do a Burst Strike. He is Barrel Striking it, but he needs to worry as well. We have a Sao being used by the Furion. The creeps blocking like an expert champ, and Enchantress is going to go down. Here comes the Puck as well. He's going to get off the silence and the loot orb. Can the bootless Sand King do anything though? No, still bootless. Level 3 Barrel Strike. Not going to get that kill on the line. So again, boots on with not on Sand King is such a sad scorpion running around slowly.
Yes. But Beastmaster pushing down lane at least, even though we saw a nice comeback here, like
7-4 now, yeah?
Yeah, 7-4, and we actually see anti-mage farm being 30 creeps while Obsidian 31, so that's kind of equal. But I really want to see Beastmaster TPing right now. He picked up the boots, and oh yeah, we see someone moving to down lane who's dead. Oh, that's the Enchantress, so maybe they are going to finish off the bottom tower, which is at about 30%. There's a Hawk already, so I really hope they start something.
I think gonna make a gank right now. As we see a roar, there's a Sentry Ward being picked up as well. They probably don't even need it. As we see the Sand King dying, they're gonna claim the tower as well. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, a little bit more engagement there as well. There's a disruption. Maybe they're gonna make a kill attempt against the Chain Frost. Is probably online though, so you gotta be very careful. There's a magic missile. The bird has to go back, because the anti-mage is coming in, and Avenge also need to be careful. Now, in terms of mid-game, as you talked about how the farm is somewhat equal, in terms of mid-game, I think anti-mage will definitely could venture out a little bit further because of his natural spell shield, his natural high armor, his natural blink. Whereas the Destroyer doesn't have anything of that sort. He has this an Astral Imprisonment, but that's not really a good kind of survival spell. It's okay. It's nothing compared to a blink. So if he falls behind, he's gonna have a lot tougher time in terms of catching up. But anti-mage on the other side, he can farm the jungle as well. So I think even if the anti-mage falls behind, which he's not doing right now, he's gonna be okay.
Yes, and I'm still surprised that MUFC is only using the Enchantress and the Venge at the moment for the ganks. We see a lot of action going on around the mid lane, but I feel like they really should. Well, they ganked into the top lane once or well, more than once, I think. 2 or 3 times, and they only ganked in the bot lane once, and I didn't even see the Beastmaster TPing. I feel like he should have just TP'd mid maybe one time, and then getting over the gank there, and we see like bottom now gets that tower, using out for the Furion, so he can't deny that Furion has picked up a Midas right now, which is a bit late, but actually still in time. So on top we see also action going on. Puck dodging the phase shift, the Impale with a phase shift, but getting fingered to that, and Sand King still bootless, being in trouble maybe.
Yeah, Sand King definitely in trouble. As we see here, the Hex coming, he has very low armor, so the physical hits of Demon Witch is going to do quite a bit. Sand King used the... Oh, he's going to try to dodge in. Burrow strikes out, but just too many stuns, too many people in the top lane. But looks like Lion, Enchantress, and Avenge might be in trouble. Are we going to see a Furion TP in? It's going to be a very suicidal move if he does. Meanwhile, in the mid lane here, Destroyer being picked off once again. So the kills actually are kind of... I mean, even though I think the Scourge team has half the kills as Sentinel, they're getting the important ones. They killed Destroyer 3 times. And like I said earlier, if Destroyer falls behind, he's going to have a tough time finding that mid-game farm. Meanwhile, on the top lane here, Puck also died a couple of times as well, but you can see that he has already Arcane Boots. He's going to pick up his Magic Wand as well. And Puck is one of those heroes that could kind of be item independent. Sure, you want to have the Blink Dagger, but you could still operate fairly well without it. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, actually, the Beastmaster in trouble there as well. So this mid lane actually very, very strong. And the Sentinel team have trouble saying this mid lane. I think they definitely might want to send a line ganking the mid lane, Beastmaster ganking the mid lane. They need to kill this Lich and push that tower and offer Destroyer a little bit of more farm.
There's actually a fact we didn't mention yet, which is that Anti-Mage picked up a Vanguard, which is quite uncommon for that Asian playstyle.
Yes.
So, yes, a Vanguard on Anti-Mage. Maybe we are even going to see a Face Boots Manta build here. I would actually like to see this build because I feel like they have to finish around the... Well, actually it's like every time they kill a Destroyer, they buy themselves a bit of time. And like you could say, like for example, at the start they had 30 minutes if they don't kill Destroyer at all, and after that they should finish the game. And now they maybe got 40 because they ganked him a lot. But at some point, Destroyer will just overcome that anti-mage. That is no question for me. Like, his orb is so strong, and his abilities make him so much better carry, just in terms of damage output. And I really think they're just buying themselves time, so they have to look for a way to finish the game somehow.
Meanwhile, nice pressure being put up by the Sentinel in mid lane, keeping the anti-mage away from the creeps, and that's always a good thing to do. I also think the Obsidian Destroyer has pretty good... I mean, his skill set is just really good against anti-mage's item set. If you go Manta style, yeah, you're going to burn a lot of his mana, but all of his orb hit could kill your illusions in probably one hit because it does extra damage. I think like 200 or 400, something ridiculous amount of extra damage against illusions. So he could deal with that easily. The Destroyer always has the ability to go into a BKB, which basically render your mana or your magic break extra damage useless as well. So a lot of as we see Dreamcoat going in the mid lane here, Beastmaster is trying to stand outside. There's a roar being used against just the anti-mage, but I think he's gonna go down regardless. As we see a lot of spell being dropped on him. He's still okay right now. Stoush doing quite a bit. As we see the Lion getting a finger and a hex, they're gonna kill the anti-mage. A lot of spell being used on him. Maybe a little bit too much. Are they gonna get a lich kill? Here comes the Enchantress, gets 1 kill, going on the puck a second. There's an enchant, but I think there's gonna be phase out. Here comes a Vengeful. Can he get a magic missile off? I think there might be phase still on. There's a where's the magic missile? No mana. What a Sprout, boss Sprout, and that's gonna save their puck. Actually, Venge taking quite a bit of damage as well. Here comes the Hex from the line. They are gonna pick him off regardless. There's an Impale there as well. I don't.
Here comes the Bootless Sand King.
Bootless Sand King, level 6, can do Jack squad. I think once we get into this mid game, this Bootless Sand King is gonna be more and more as a burden to his team because he's basically a melee creep right now, doing nothing.
Yes, he really is, and I would really like to give credit to this Enchantress play right now because the way Enchantress is playing is just awesome. It's just so nice to see. She's being everywhere. She's being successful. Well, yeah. Ganking in every lane, being in every team fight, and always doing that tons of damage with impetus.
Yep, definitely. The reason why she's playing so well is definitely got that kill in the mid lane, learning the way to play Enchantress from Luminous, and getting those kills. It's important. I'm not even trolling. Now it's going to give the room a little bit for farm destroyer. I like the fact that he's going for a staff of wizard. I hope this is a 4-staff because that's going to give them the... Yeah, it is going to be a 4-staff. That's going to give that extra room for him to farm. If he never ever gets ganked, he could just, prison 1 and just 4-staff the hell out and try to survive that way. So, and also give him really nice attack speed, which he needs. Give him really nice intelligence to do more damage. So all in all, a very good item. Maybe he'll transition into a straight hex after that, or maybe a BKB. In either case, that's going to be a very good item set. Going to do quite a bit of damage. But yeah, the problem again, he needs room to farm and he's not getting it right now. The creep lanes are fairly pushed and he needs to be a bot right now, but he doesn't have a TP scroll. So unfortunately, he doesn't have the farm, which makes me really worried about the Sentinel. The Scourge getting quite a bit of time now, like you said earlier. If they kill the Destroyer more times or limit their farm, limit the Destroyer's farm, the Scourge team has a lot more time. We see the Anti-Mage farming up to a pretty nice item set. So I'm a little bit worried for Sentinel.
Yeah, well, actually, when I see Destroy going for 4-staff, that is actually something I like, because I had, well, I don't know when it was, but I had some game a bit of time ago, and I was playing Destroy as well, and I had a tough early game, and I had like 4-staff treads and a few no talismans around 20 minutes, so that's basically what that guy got. And actually the hero can be only if you have levels. Well, he's only level 10 right now, but I'm sure he'll get some XP now because we see action going on the mid lane right now, but they're not able to grab the Lich because this team will create enough room, and that hero you don't really need to hex to carry that hard. We see Lich going down.
Yep, Blink from the line already picked up. Here comes Bootless Sand King, gets Hex, probably gonna get Finger right now. Dreamcoat getting 3 right now, and the silence against the line. They're trying to pick up the line. They are gonna pick up the line right now. Focus. Oh, Roar canceling that epicenter and not gonna be casted because he's bootless. Meanwhile, Ven trying to get something done, but that's gonna be the end of that team fight. At the end, they traded a Blink Dagger line, and who bought back, so they wanted to maybe fight a little bit more and maybe even claim the mid tower. Whether they're successful or not, regardless, they are gonna give the room to farm in top lane. There's a Blink Hex going against the Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage goes down. Buyback completely worth it, especially if they picked up this mid tower, and I think they will do so as well. Still Destroy farming on the top lane. That they are buying their time for the Destroy to farm. Destroy might even claim the tower on the top lane. Here comes Puck trying to backstab with his Sage Rune, but without Dream Coal and without a Blink Dagger, he's got to be very careful about that Blink line. So I think this tower is going to go down as well, and that's going to help the Destroyer farm quite a bit.
Yes, actually that was something I wanted to say. Right, I just wanted to say that the Destroyer can carry fairly easily, even if you only got a 4-staff. Like, you don't need that Hex, because if you got the levels of your spells, like 4 levels of your orb, you'll still carry so good. And yeah.
Yeah, especially against this somewhat squishy lineup, because Frost Armor does nothing against Orb. A Spell Shield does nothing against Orb. So, I mean, if they could keep their Destroyer alive, and again, they have the stuns to keep them alive as well. What's going on? What's going on?
Senki got boots.
Oh my god.
Senki got boots. That's like, sorry, I had to interrupt you for that, because he's not bootless anymore, so...
he's levelless now.
Okay, so getting to level S from bootless.
Yes. So he's level 7, and I think he's the lowest level on the entire game. He's actually lower than Venge. and that's gonna be a problem. You saw how he tried to ult in that last fight, didn't even get off. He actually got sentry wards as well, so recognizing that he better off buy some wards to help out his team. And this top tower is gonna go down as well. So, or maybe I think it's gonna go down, especially with this blink hex on the line. It's gonna be huge trouble for Scourge team. This anti-mage right now doesn't have the gear to really go in and disrupt this push, and he's not gonna find that gear for quite a bit of time. So,
yeah, and we actually see 5-0 towers, so that's great play.
I like how it's like, oh, I'm really worried for Sentinel, and now I'm really worried for Scourge. So, either I'm really bad caster, or this game is just changing its pace quite a bit, which I think is the case.
Yes, a bit maybe.
A bit.
Yeah. I don't want to say it seems so for a stupid person, but
Okay, all right, yeah, definitely. This game is changing the pace. Destroyer getting some farm, got the 4-staff finish, and let me give a quick creep check. He's got 2,000 gold in the bank. I think he just picked up an ultimate orb, so definitely going for the hex. But there's a 4-man gang coming in. One of them is a levelless Sand King, still level 7. They don't have a blink dagger on the Fairy Dragon yet, so keep in mind that he does have a 4-staff to get out of trouble. There's a Dream Coil, and what is he gonna do? Disrupt and force, bro, force. He's gonna get burrow and he's gonna get killed right now. He's forced, but he still dies. But meanwhile, here comes the Lion Scrap. Maybe get a revenge kill against the Furion. They are gonna pick it up right now. Are they gonna give any chase? There's a Necronomicon being picked up on, I think, the Furion. On the Furion, but that's not gonna help them against a blink line. Here's a wow. This nuke,
what a little
bouncing everywhere. And oh my god, this Sand King just got 2 levels, so he's not really level less anymore.
crazy.
So now he's just dagger less. So but still very good comeback from the Scourge team here. Anti-Mage's gonna find the Beastmaster in the jungle, burn him a hell lot of his mana. So pretty good play from the Scourge team, but it doesn't change the fact that they're down by 5 towers, like you said. And they're down quite a bit of EXP as well. Puck's still working on his dagger, not going to find it anytime soon. 1700 gold, so he's fairly close. What does the Scourge need to do in terms of coming back in the game? Because I feel like they're in somewhat of a big disadvantage right now. What do they need to do?
I honestly I don't know what they've been doing while their towers got pushed. Like usually you don't want to push with like as we always saw 4 or even 5 people pushing all those towers that Sentinel got. But I don't know where Furion has been. He was either dead or he wasn't really pressuring the enemy towers. So I think the first step would really be to get a few tier 1 towers for Furion, and else they should be just really careful. See that they don't get ganked. Maybe they can actually win a fight if they let their anti-mage bait in some location. Like right now they're going for the anti-mage down lane. They're preparing that gank, and actually if they would back him up with enough heroes, then I feel like he could survive long enough.
No, here's the blink. Where's the Hex? Hex gonna be casted right after. No Chain Frost being up, and they are gonna kill the anti-mage. So unfortunately, here comes the Sand King though. Still no dagger. Gets roar on the Lich. Lich is gonna be fine. Yeah, that is the trouble. Once as soon as the anti-mage gets Hex, there needs to be spelled being dropped on the entire Sentinel team immediately. And because that was not the case, there's a free kill and another free tower. Furion on the top lane, not doing anything. So that's kind of the issue here.
Yeah, I feel like that's really an issue. But well, he got his Necro book. I don't. I'm not even sure if that Necro book was such a good decision.
I don't think so.
I mean, okay, it's maybe annoying for the Obsidian because you'll kill off the Necros with 1 ult, but still.
Yeah, that is gonna hurt his HP pool. But I don't know. We see a lot of players actually going for like Midas into Necro, and as much as I like Necro book, I think you're dedicated quite a bit of farm that doesn't help you 100% in more of a direct engagement. I think a Hex would be a lot better. Of course, Hex costs like 3 times as much, 2 times as much, but I think it's a risk that he needs to take. And now Destroyer has an ultimate orb. He's fine now. I think in terms of HP pool, he does a heck ton of damage. His base damage is 150, and that's not counting in the orb hits, which is gonna add like at least 100 something more. So Scourge team in quite a bit of trouble. What I do like about the Scourge team is I went to the Scourge Vision earlier. They have their wards up. They have most of their wards up, especially in their own jungle. That's not going to help. That's not going to stop smoke gangs, but they will at least know if heroes are missing off the map. So far, they see nothing right now as they do their own smoke gank. But they're better off. But Beastmaster has a gem, and also he's going for a Necrobook. Beastmaster doing a very good job in terms of trying to pick off wards, but he got to be careful right now. He's kind of near enemy territory, and he might be ganked right now. I'm not too sure if he sees the enemy uphill. He doesn't because they're smoked up. So gotta be very. He's so close to death. So close to death.
But well, Daggler Sand King can gank.
Can gank, bro. Can gank.
And actually, oh, anti-mage.
Yeah, that's gonna be an issue. Is he gonna blink? Oh, he is gonna blink out, but 14-second cooldown on the dagger on the line, but not gonna lead it at all. They actually use quite a bit of spell. Here comes another Chain Frost. They are gonna kill the line nonetheless, but that's definitely a very bad trade. Here comes a Furion with the Necrobook. He is gonna get stunned. Necrobooks kissing right each other. Sanking not doing too much of anything. Here comes the Enchantress doing quite a bit of DPS as well. Puck already at half HP. He still doesn't have his Dream Core, I believe. Very, very low HP. He does have his Blink Dagger. Will be blink out soon. Sand King drops his huge ult. It's gonna eat a Necrobook. No, he's gonna just die. So these fights are going pretty poorly for the Scourge team. I feel like they're very uncoordinated. Especially, I feel like they don't know what to do after the anti-mage is dead. Because yeah, they're fighting 4v5, but the rest of the team fight is not coordinated. We see like Chain Frost being dropped, and Lich just runs. Puck just drop his spell and runs. Sand King stays. I think they need a little bit of better communication to hope to come back in the team fight.
They need to organize their fleeing. I don't know. So what's the word for that? Like, you don't say flee. I'm sure of that. But if you flee,
we do say flee. Yes.
Yes, but is that the noun? You know.
That's the verb. We flee from
but
the
I want to
battle.
know the noun. Yes, and I want to know a noun for that.
Retreat.
Yeah. Retreat. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
English
so,
lessons
yes.
from Luminous. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Oh.
Come on. You're still like.
I'm such a good English speaker, right?
Well, it's still your.
Actually,
okay,
no.
It's not your natural language, but.
As we see what is this? The 8th time we see anti-mage gets ganked. Finally a good blink from save him, and actually has teammates to help out. Can they get some engagement? Beastmaster now in trouble. Where's the Dream Call? There's the Dream Call. There's a nuke, and here comes the Sand King. Gonna Burrow Strike in, doing so much work. They are finally, or maybe, are they gonna pick off this Beastmaster? Beastmaster gonna run out. Sand King hot on his trail, gets Roar right now, and they are finally gonna kill the Beastmaster. Gem gonna get picked up or destroyed by the anti-mage. Meanwhile, here comes that's gonna be the end of the fight. So very well done. Oh, actually, one of the Necrobooks got a kill. What the freak?
Just happens
against the Lich. So
Necro Gamer. And I wanted to say for some time actually that I just want to mention I don't like the anti-mage's decision to pick up power threats, because Facebook's so much better if you got Vanguard. Facebook's so much better. Wow. Trouble speaking right now.
I don't know. Do you think that he might have picked it up because he needed the HP? Because if he gets hexed, like it's a matter of how much HP, how much armor he's got to maybe survive long enough to blink out. And I might even say that even if he has the extra HP from the treads, it won't be enough. But maybe that's what he was thinking when he picked up the
yeah, probably.
Yeah, so
well, since it's on strange all the time, that's probably what he was thinking.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, 1200 HP, a decent level of spell shield. Here comes a Yasha, a little bit extra armor as well. So it's gonna be okay, but they need to survive and counter gank a lot more. I feel like the counter ganking of the Scourge team is very weak. And they have really good hero for counter ganking. They have to figure out they can always TP in. Sand King, one of the best counter gankers, especially if you drop off a good ult. Lich Chain Frost been counter ganking.
So yeah, the Lich did really. I think the Lich really did a good job. Like he won the Scourge quite a few fights alone with that great ultimate dropping.
Right, but the issue is they need to be sticking to this anti-mage, like. I'm trying to find a good analogy, like the bra to your mom's breast. Yes, that is exactly how they need to stick to this anti-mage, and they're doing it right now. This is what they should have been doing 10 minutes ago. If you find your character being ganked, and you have such good counter ganking heroes, Puck, Sand King, Chain Frost, like that's what you need to do. You actually could use this anti-mage to farm and bait at the same time and win team fights, and I'm finally happy to see that Trust is doing this. But maybe is this too late? It looks like the Sentinel team is going to give up this tower, which they can because they're up by 6 towers so far. They're up by so much gold. Beastmaster has Necro 2. I think Furion finished this Necro 3. Drums being picked up on Enchantress going for the Axe Stick. How's Venge?
Oh, they actually.
Huh?
We see TP.
Yeah, TP
going
going
from line.
and they are going to pick up tower. Where's the blink out? He needs to blink out. Where's the rest of the team? Rest of the team is taking an excursion in the jungle. That Chain Frost not going to bounce anymore, so the damage is being limited. As we see a team fight going on in the jungle as well. It looks like they did pick off the Enchantress. So far, they're still ahead. Anti-Mage at half HP, going to be regenerating quite a bit with that Vanguard. So they're claiming something right now, and I think they could TP right back in the top to get a little bit more farm as well. So definitely not looking too bad. Definitely could have turned off way worse, but yeah, they're going to go okay. No one handing Furion, no one handing Anti-Mage a TP score. There we go, and he's going to farm a little bit on top. So not too bad for the Scourge team. They definitely need a Manta style, and that's what the Anti-Mage is working on right now. He is fairly close, got 1,000 gold in the bank, and 1,000 away from that Ultimate Orb.
Yeah, I'm actually not too sure why Sentinel has chosen to defend the towers so late. That was, I don't know, it was rather obvious. Maybe they already hoped like that someone of the Scourge actually TP'd out already, and they would get a lowly anti-mage who was just staying there to finish off the tower, but I don't know. Actually, it was a bad decision.
Yeah, I think so as well. And here we go on the top lane here. A solo gank from Obsidian Destroyer. 4 staff in Hex, 3 hits.
Told you.
OP.
Just need Hex. And
OP DPS, yeah.
Yes.
And what do you think the decision is for Sentinel not pushing? Because I feel like they could win team fights. I feel like they have more stuns to work with. But it seems like they're content having the Destroyer farm. And like you said, Destroyer is the better late game carry, and I agree with that. But I think they could win the game right now. Why aren't they taking that chance? Oh, they're doing it right now. But why do you think they haven't been pushing so far?
They've been waiting for the Hex, I think. That's like the only reason, I guess.
And
only waiting for Hex. 16 on Beastmaster, maybe. 16 on Lion is not there yet, but
I think they're fine
guess
with
so.
that.
16 on Obsidian.
But Anti-Mage, 14 seconds away. Chain Frost, I think on cooldown, this Lich needs to be so careful because that Lion is going to be looking for the Lich. Necronomicon minions being sent to the other side. Oh, being dropped off by Furion. Furion giving that push on the bot lane here. They're burning a lot of mana on the Beastmaster, and that's going to be very important as he needs to have that mana to do his stuff. Looks like the tower is going to be...
Why did he sell his soul ring?
I don't know. Maybe he needed the extra gold against the... to just buy his last piece of Necronomicon or something. Maybe that's the case. We have the entire Sentinel team smoked up. Maybe they're looking for a jump. Anti-Mage, again, being sent out. But he's got to be very careful. Only 1,200 HP. I say only. There's a swap. There's a Hex. There's a roar. Oh, my goodness. Yep. And here's canceling that.
Obsidian going.
Obsidian.
Lucky Ray boat.
Yeah. It's not even worth casting because Sentinel is just raping right now. Yeah, they're going to pick up this Rex, and that's going to be the game. Anti-Mage being countered by a Destroyer. We don't see that every day, but definitely can be done as we see it this game. So very well played by Sentinel.
Yeah. Well, wanna go into endgame analysis already?
Sure, let's do that.
Okay, so I think it's pretty much what I said earlier. Like the team is based all around giving the Obsidian the room. And I think that's the reason why we don't see it that often, because it's actually hard to get a Destroyer that good into through the whole game. Like he has been ganked a lot in the early game, but there were also ganks in his lane. So there wasn't such a big difference between both of the carries since they were both in mid, and that was like the main reason why they were able to play this Obsidian, because they supported him so well. So a really nice like 4+1 stretch.
Yeah, encore to that was, like you said, Enchantress was everywhere. Her DPS, the fact that she picked up early boots, early level 6, allowed her to control the game. You know, wherever she went, she got kills or she got assists. So that definitely helped out as well. And like I said earlier, one of the biggest problem to Destroyers having the room to farm. And you made a good point about how the Scourge team, Sentinel team in the mid lane constantly was ganking. We were following mostly anti-mage everywhere being ganked. This is what the Scourge should have been doing against the Destroyer, but they couldn't because they had either protected anti-mage or just jacking off in the jungle. About the Scourge team, I felt like I don't know what they were doing. Like what you said sometimes, when the Sentinel was pushing, Furion should have been, pushing somewhere else or maybe getting farm. But he's getting farm, but he bought a Necro 3, which doesn't really help against the lineup he's against. So,
Yeah.
and also I felt like they have really good counter ganking heroes, but they never utilized that counter ganking ability from the Scourge. This Lich need to be casting Frost Armor nonstop. I'm just saying, because
What I also have to say, like the Sentinel didn't make it too easy for the Scourge to counter gang in the early stages of the game. At first, I was a bit surprised by the decision to leave the Beastmaster on bottom lane all the time, to have the Lion on top mostly. But if I think about it now, that was actually kind of good, because that way, like if you only have 3 heroes in a lane, the worst thing that can happen to you is all 3 heroes die. If you have 5 heroes in the lane or 4, the worst thing that can happen to you is that 4 heroes die. But this way, they had the Beastmaster down, they had the Lion top, both were farming constantly, getting a lot of levels, a lot of items, more than the Sand King, for example, more than the Lich, more than the Furion. So that made like that they only used Enchantress and Venge for the ganks. That made them really that gave them a really good control in the start of the game.
actually, forget what I said about Necrobook, because these Necrobooks are raping
Yeah.
that Destroyer as we
Yeah.
see a kill going against the Furion, so quite unfortunate there. But it looks like the mid tower, the top tower is going to be claimed. So Trust, despite being so far behind, they're not giving up the game right now. But they're very much so losing their bot racks at the moment. The mid, they need to push that out as well, because the drone towers is going to slowly but surely take more damage. They have TP scrolls, so yes, they need to be TPing right back. And teammate trying to get that little bit of extra farm in. He needs to finish his Mantis Tower. He's got 2,000 gold. I'm not too sure whether he's going to save it for buyback or buy that Ultimate Orb right now. Tower at half HP, Necrobook being sent in, and these guys need to turn back. They're also nuking the Sand King, who just cancels dagger. There's a blink in from the line. They're going to pick off the Sand King. Great Hex. Wow, the line using so many spells, and there's a swap out from him as well. So free tower being claimed. Hex, 2 hits from the Destroyer, and he is gone, baby. Now the puck goes down as well. Still very uncoordinated fights from Trust. 2 heroes in the in the fight, 2 heroes in the fountain. I just felt like they got really outplayed.
Yeah, it's actually a great example how you will feel in the viewers game when you play a Luminous team, because then it will be pretty much as like being on Scourge.
No,
so
man.
Prepare for that. Prepare for that.
Luminous will be all over this. Like, oh, this is what we need to do. All you gotta do is listen. I'm 2009's younger brother. I know exactly what we need to do every stage of the game. If I tell you to buy Blade Mail and Vanguard and Shadow Fiend, you just do it. Don't ask questions. So that's how we're gonna play the viewers game on the 24th of September. But back to this game.
Yes, you want to say anything about
No,
it?
we're done. Do you have anything else?
No, I think we're done.
Okay, so again, come to the viewers game on the 24th. Also, I'll be casting games every single day until I hit my 200 commentary, which I think I'm quite a bit away. So expect more commentaries from me. And that's it from 715 and Luminous signing off. GG guys, hope you guys enjoyed the game. GG.